Today I will be responding to by Billy Wilder. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really good. I thought I was able to keep the tension going throughout the film, and it kept me guessing, even though at the very beginning we are given a confession by Walter Niff, played by Fred McMurray, who we can visibly see is shot in his left shoulder, I believe. And then through this narration that we given by Walter throughout the movie, it unveils this whole story about greed, ego, lust, loneliness, and betrayal, and so many other things. It really shows that there is so much more going on here than what meets the eye. I also found that it had some very funny moments in it, such as when the car is stalling on them. I had a great laugh about that because, like, oh, of course, everything's going wrong now for them. There are a couple of scenes that I would like to talk about. Is when Walter and Keyes, played by Edward G. Robinson, I believe, who is a claims manager in the movie, are in the office of Mr. Norton, who is the president of the insurance company that they work at. I felt it was the turning point in the movie because it was the first time that someone's questioned there's something more going on here, even if it's not for the right reasons, as Mr. Norton had. And like, it also kind of planted the idea that in Key's mind that this could be murder. And it's also like one of the few times we see Walter not be as calm and collected self. So this shot right here is when Norton and Keyes are talking about the details of the case, but from Walter's point of view, he sees them as being on the same team. It also seems like Mr. Norton is attempting to convince Keyes in some sort of way that this is not an accident, which is why they're in the same frame, until Keyes denied that he doesn't feel his little man in this case. Mr. Norton also seems to be standing a lot, as if to convey to the audience that he has a lot of power in the scene, until he says he suspects that it's suicide, which he begins to sit down afterwards, losing the power he had because Walter and Phyllis aren't scared anymore. The build-up to this reveal was great, and in this shot, we can see it's a clear day in the background, which could be the director misleading the audience that Mr. Norton sees the situation as clear as day, but also in the background you will see that the blinds are partially down. There's plants covering the windows, which could mean that he doesn't see the situation. Well, no, it does mean that he doesn't see the situation for what it really is, because he's blinded by this greed and doesn't want to pay Phyllis the full insurance clause. He's hoping it's like a settlement, or it goes to court where they can prove, it was a suicide. And I also like the little cut over that they do to Walter just before it's revealed, because he's standing, in the background with the shadow from the blinds going onto his face, as if he's trying to hide himself. Finally, I want to also talk about this shot. This is one of the few moments in the movie where Keyes is the biggest guy in the room, because he's shown his expertise, his power in this scene. He may be the small guy, he may not be a tall or rich man, but he evens the playing field with his smarts, and he even confirms this in the beginning of this fantastic monologue that he gives about suicide statistics, where he also confronts and calls out Mr. Norton for just being a businessman who never got his hands dirty like him.
You ought to take a look at the statistics on suicide sometime. You might learn a little something about the insurance business.
Mr. Keyes, I was raised in the insurance business.
Yeah, in the front office. Come now, you've never read an actuarial table in your life, have you? Why, we got 10 volumes on suicide alone.
And it also gives us this inner look into the insurance business. So that's what I wanted to say about the scene. I thought it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. Thank you.